Good. I'm doing really good. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as always. And where we always start is this kind of month review, the look at operations and what has this last month brought for you.
Yeah, so it's always good to let everybody know how busy or how slow we've been. And the summer months are really busy with activities, but on activity, we was down in crashes. We had 15 crashes in the month of June. The deputy served 67 civil papers. We had 54 location checks. 8 of those came in. It's a peak time for apps, the app submitting vacation patrol. When people leave town, we get these notifications that they'd like their house, checked during vacation. So we've had 8 of those. The deputies had 4 DUI arrests, major traffic arrests. We had 3, 5 criminal arrests, and picked up 3 warrants. Additionally, utilizing the app, we was able to post that we had 2 road closures due to traffic crash investigations. 2 major scams going on in the county was pushed out on the notifications, and most recently one missing juvenile that fortunately turned out to have a good outcome where she was located. That pretty well covers what we've had in the last 30 days in activity, and it's been on track for a normal summer month.
I was going to say it sounded relatively pretty normal, pretty good, really,
Yes.
in terms of the numbers that were presented there. You said 4 DUIs, 3 major traffic incidents that were taken care of, and then about 5 criminal arrests.
Yes.
To me, it's like, sounds not too bad, actually.
Yes.
Anything else, though, when it comes to the month, this last month?
So I would like to give a shout out to a correctional officer, Stacy French. Basically, was hired back in April of 22. April of 22, and it took because of staffing, they allow us. We can get a waiver on how long it takes us to get her trained. And in May of, I have to apologize, I believe she was hired in April of 23, and in May 30th of this year, she basically graduated from the Macon County Law Enforcement Training Center in class 2525. After 8 weeks of academy training, she was able to get her state certification and is now certified and went through the correctional academy.
And you said Stacy French.
Yes, Stacy French. We also have a deputy that's attending now. I think he started in May, and he will graduate the academy in August to replace one that we lost through attrition of retirement, and we'll be glad to get him on board. We've been struggling for shortages. The guys are, when you take a department that has trouble with law enforcement getting applicants and operating the daily patrol with 13 guys on the road, and when you lose 1 or 2, and now we have 1 out on medical, it really puts a strain on the deputies covering shifts. So sometimes that can be stressful on the individuals, and so that rolls me around to anybody out there listening or has got family members interested in maybe a career in that field. We're taking applications daily for correction officers, and we just recently settled up with a contractual agreement with the county for knowing what the pay rate's going to be for the next 3 years. So now we're able to post that we're hiring a deputy. So we'll be putting that out on the app for taking applications. It is available right now for anybody listening or family members that want to, promote somebody in the family to maybe get an application. They can get that off the county's website. The Christian County website has our application, or they're free to stop in at the jail at 301 Franklin Street, and additionally our new operations building there at 214 West Market. They can pick up an application there. It'll be most likely a month-long process of taking applications, and then we'll probably do a testing and see if we can't get another deputy hired.
Interesting to hear there's still paper applications that are floating out and around there.
Yes.
Kind of welcomed.
And for us, we like there are new stipulations set by the state that says we have to post now what the pay is. Before you could just put, you're taking applications. So that's where our stall has been, is because the union has been in contract negotiations. But to wrap up why we do the paper applications, sometimes you can see somebody's, it gives you more of an insight into their skills. You put a computer in there, it will tell you if you've, possibly spelled something wrong. It's good to see somebody's handwritten abilities and stuff like that. So I kind of still favor the handwritten papers.
I do too, but that has gone by the wayside. I guess the traditional minds would like to write and fill out things, but that has certainly gone away. So even with the fact that we've got a new corrections officer fully trained and ready to go as of May of this year, and we've got a deputy in the works, we're still hiring, and that message is going to be put out on the app here relatively soon as well.
Yes.
Okay. Just so I'm tracking you and making sure we're there. Anything else with new people coming on, or even folks that have just gotten their training taken care of, or anything else hiring wise?
No, I think, like I said, we finally got the dispatch up. They've got 3 that they're in training now.
Okay.
You got 10 people there working, and I have to basically point out that our administrator, or our 911 coordinator, is pulling double duty. She's maintaining and operating the dispatch, but also she's sitting in the chair answering the radio because we're so short. We're up to staff on that, but it takes quite a while to get all those people trained. So Kim Curl is doing a heck of a job with basically sitting in as the 911 coordinator, handling the bossing part of that, but sitting in the chair because of the shortages. She's even going as far as working midnight shifts and stuff like that. So sometimes when you fall short, we just all, just like myself, I'm working on, the budget this year at this time of year, but there's times where me sitting in the chair, I have to get up. I was out yesterday for a rollover over in the Midland area, only because we had, the other deputies were somewhere else on call. So it's a team effort, and everybody's pitching in and trying to cover the shortfalls and the shortages.
But we would like to cover them with other folks.
Yes, we would like to have more warm bodies, and we are hiring is the key there.
Yes. So appreciate you filling us in on those things, and additional information will be out there, but it sounds like there are multiple ways to do so. Christian County website as well. Stop by the jail, the operations building. But it does sound like we've got things in the works, and we've got additional space that's needed there as well.
Yep.
This interests me quite a bit, and we got to talk about this for a moment off the air. You were recently at I'm going to call it a sheriff's and chief deputy meeting. What kind of came out of that meeting? What was the meeting, and what do we know as of this point now?
So recently we had, I had been working with Sheriff McReynolds over in Shelby County, and the discussion come up all about the same time that the Sheriff's Association was putting together a presentation, if you will, from a major case squad out of St. Louis and the St. Louis region area. And what it is, they basically have a squad that was put together in 1965. And you think of all the homicides in the St. Louis area and how sometimes they'll have a homicide with no suspects. And back then they decided to get that region, St. Louis metro area. There's a multitude of Southern Illinois counties that have investigators, and it's just a large group of people that have everything from a board of directors. They have executive directors, command staff, public information officers, and they put this together, and it's a way that everybody's kind of like on a standby, that if a red alert, code red goes out, you would basically get the information from the hosting agency. And if you have the availability to send your investigators, they would go to this area, and they all work, whether that's canvassing area neighborhoods for suspects, interviewing people, and they work it sometimes up to 5 days nonstop. They split it up in teams so they can get guys to go home and rest and come back. But it focuses on having more resources. For instance, they gave some pretty astounding numbers with that. And since 1965, they've had 815 homicides that they focused on, with an 85% success rate of apprehending suspects. So what happened was the Sheriff's Association was looking at it like, you take Christian County, we've got 2 investigators. Well, if we have a major incident where, say you have something that requires you that takes place maybe at a bar or just anywhere, that you would need major resources to interview multiple people. Now, we work really well with the Zone 4 State Police for investigations, but there again, the focus was, if it worked for homicide in this major case squad in St. Louis area, there was a discussion with all the sheriffs and chief deputies about what could we do locally. So we had this meeting, they gave a presentation, and the idea is that we would basically model that to what suits our needs. So even though they focus on homicide, and we may not have, hopefully none through the year or very little, we could utilize it for things like major copper thefts, utilize it to do a saturation investigation, if you will, to interview people, to basically just have resources at hand that are going to allow you to bring other investigators in to the area, and you host that until you either solve the crime or till your leads are exhausted.
For you, and we do have to take ourselves a break, but there's, I think, a lot of good things that can come from this here. Modeling it after the Southern Illinois or St. Louis metro area seems like it would be a fantastic thing, but it sounds also like we're wanting to expand past just homicides and bring other folks in at a time where we're needing some additional help, and we're short on some of that help as well. I'd love to hear more about it, and we'll do so in just one moment. We're speaking with Chief Deputy Jim Baker of the Christian County Sheriff's Office here today on the morning show, filling us in on the month that has just been. A new corrections officer, we're still hiring, and also some more about this sheriff and chief deputy meeting and what kind of came out of it. We're going to find out more about it when we return. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Thing beats the authentic voice of Ag Radio. Farm broadcasters have been the voice of rural America since 1944, building trusted relationships with agricultural producers across generations. Today, the network of over 140 ag radio stations reaches farmers and ranchers during their most productive hours, when they're actively working their operations and making business decisions. What makes Ag Radio uniquely effective? Farmers listen to farm broadcasters for information that directly impacts their livelihood. When your message is delivered alongside crucial weather updates, market reports, and agricultural news, it receives the same attention and credibility. Farm Radio Connects offers agricultural advertisers targeted access to this engaged audience through professionals who understand both broadcasting and agriculture. According to the National Association of Farm Broadcasting, 78% of farmers consider information from farm broadcasters highly trustworthy. When you need to reach rural America effectively, choose the voices they already trust. Visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com and discover how Ag Radio can elevate your agricultural marketing strategy.
Don't risk losing the trusted news, traffic, sports, and weather you get from AM radio stations. It's time to make your voice heard. We need Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act to keep AM radio in cars. When internet and cell services are out, AM could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179 and tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Sparklight's back-to-school deal is here. Get 1 gig unlimited internet for just $29.95 a month for 3 months. Enjoy blazing speeds on our fiber-fueled network with no contracts and 24/7 local U.S.-based tech support. Perfect for streaming, gaming, and powering all your family's devices. New customers only. Available in-store, online, or by phone. Don't miss out. Get 1 gig unlimited internet for $29.95 a month, but only through September 7th. Some exclusions apply. Sparklight, keeping you connected.
At Taylorville Memorial Hospital, great care is a team effort. It's expert doctors, compassionate nurses, and advanced technology, all working together to deliver the best care possible for you and your family. From preventive testing to advanced procedures, Taylorville Memorial Hospital is where great care comes together for you. Visit memorial.health/TMH to see a full list of hospital services, the latest news, and additional resources like visitor information, careers, and more.
CNB Bank and Trust has been helping open doors for Central Illinois farmers since 1854. Find out why they're among Illinois' top ag lenders by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Bob Reddings of the Bob Reddings family of dealerships. See our huge inventory of about 2,000 vehicles by clicking on our ad at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and it's our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us in this segment is Jim Baker, Chief Deputy of the Christian County Sheriff's Office. We want to continue our conversation about a meeting that was had between sheriffs and chief deputies within the area and kind of what came out of it. What can we do to kind of summarize this meeting and what we kind of hope to do with it?
Yeah, so like I said, it was based off the major crimes case squad out of the metro St. Louis area. And we just found a need for small counties that oftentimes may have a crime out in the county that you need more resources. So we are going to take that model and modify that to fit us to basically have investigations. I will say, just like throughout the state, you have multiple agencies that have memorandums of agreements in things like ERT, Emergency Response Team. It works well like us with the CAT team, Community Action Team, and ERT. Those units, for instance, would focus on crimes while they're happening, or trying to interject that into preventive measures. So they're out there in the field looking for that. This major crime unit that we're looking at doing would be post the event where you need resources. And basically there would be minimum qualifications, things like you'd have to have so many years as an investigator, and it's pulling in these investigators. Before this meeting, I had went and spoke to Chief Wheeler to explain what we would be looking to do, as well as Chief Bland down in Pana. So if they have investigators on the team, we would focus it regionally to say Montgomery County, Shelby County, Sangamon County. We would be a regional area of team members that basically we could provide resources for them, same way for Pana. So where we have, just like the ERT team, that's a response team. They train, but they're responding to an event after it happens. The CAT team, they're out actively looking, just like our drug unit with Central Illinois Enforcement Group with the Illinois State Police. They're out looking and trying to build cases. This major crimes response team would be on standby, that once the event happens, we could provide resources to Taylorville. We could provide resources to Pana, as well as they could provide to us. No different than Chief McReynolds over in Shelby County could call on us to send 2 guys over and work that. And you would basically work it as a team until the leads run out or till you apprehend somebody. And then it would, go on standby. And if a new lead develops 3 months down the road, you may reactivate that to basically go back in and for 2 days work a case. And it's just a way that a department with 2 investigators that's small has resources all the way around, maybe all adjoining counties would work together. So it's in the early stages of how we're going to develop that. And so that's the main focus.
Thank you for that synopsis and summary. We've got less than 30 seconds here. There's one other thing we wanted to talk about, current and future events, specifically South Fork Dirt Riders.
Sure. Just want to remind the public that during July 31st, August 1st and 2nd, you can anticipate maybe some major congestion out on Route 104 for the entrance and exit of the Dirt Riders event. Want to be people to be cautious of that.
So take the time to understand that other folks are going to have to take their time too. Chief Deputy Jim Baker. Jim, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And you've been listening to The Morning Show, brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. More to come in just a moment.
Thomason in Washington. As several states deal with the aftermath of destructive and deadly flooding, a